Movie Holics! What up, guys? I'm Kyler Wilson.
I'm Monica Kasurik.
And this is a special episode of The Before,
The After,
and The After. Double feature edition. Okay. Alright, it's Double Feature Sunday.
What is Double Feature Sunday?
Oh. It's going to be two separate videos, but we're going to see two movies today because it's the 18th, and I didn't get to watch any movies on my birthday because I was working the whole time. And the only movie that I was really wanting to see on my birthday was Goosebumps. Monica really wanted to see Crimson Peak. They both came out on Friday. So we're gonna go see them, and we're gonna talk about them, and I'm excited. So I don't know. What do you think? Should we talk about? We're going to see Goosebumps first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a noon showing. We'll talk about that afterwards. And then, do you want to talk about Crimson Peak after that, or do you want to do it as on the way?
We can do it after that.
We'll do it after that. All right. So we're just gonna tackle Goosebumps
So
right
we
now.
won't get all conversed.
Fair enough. So what we know about Goosebumps going in is that it is essentially Jumanji. It's Jumanji, but with Goosebumps.
As previously noted in
the trailer trash. But that being said, I really did want to see this. I'm a huge fan. Or, I can't say I'm a huge fan anymore, but I was a huge fan as a kid of the books.
We still got like a treasure chest of it in our hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. I recognize, at least from the preview, I recognize virtually every single monster.
Yeah.
They said, I heard in an interview that they were working with 45 different monsters per day.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
What?
So yeah, I'm really anxious to see all that stuff come to life. I think it's gonna be a really fun, cute kids movie with with some hints. Clearly, Jack Black's in it, with some hints of adult humor.
Yeah, because we love Jack Black, or at least I do.
Exactly. Speaking of which, I've heard through the grapevine that there might be a TV show coming here involving him. So we'll see. Anywho, I don't see how this movie can fail, really.
I hope not, because, see, I usually hate kids, but I was thinking about it earlier, and I was like, wait a minute. I liked School of Rock, and that had kids. Those kids weren't annoying, so hopefully...
And that was Jack Black?
Yeah, so hopefully these kids won't be annoying. Well, I already expect that big tooth dude to be annoying, because he was annoying in that other movie he was in. So... we'll just bleep him out as if he were not there.
We'll see what happens. Cool. I mean, that goes over everything I wanted to. I mean, I'm excited to see it.
I'm not expecting it to be like, oh my god, it was so amazing.
Right.
But I'm not expecting it to completely fail.
Yeah. It's got, I think, something 70+% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So
we're in for
critics are liking it pretty well.
So far.
Anyway, yeah, that's it.
Yay.
All right, we'll see you at the theater, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. So what do you think?
It's cute.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I mean, it was one of those where you always say the movie knows what it is,
Right.
and it's nothing more, nothing less. It knows what it is. It was fun.
It was. It was basically an R.L. Stine book.
Right.
Like, it hits all the beats that you expect it to hit. It's not like overly dramatic, but it has its feel goods. I think I'll have. There are at least a few spots where I think I'm going to have some issues when we discuss it later. Just things where I'm like, it would have been so much better if you'd just done this, That's what we're
Yeah, you almost think that. It almost makes me, I don't know. I bet R.L. Stone was like, what? You guys want to do a movie about me?
Nice little cameo.
Almost basically forgotten author that basically wrote everything for us back in the day. So
I love their little stabs at Stephen King, man.
yeah, that's pretty funny.
It's awesome. Anyways, I think that as long as you go into this knowing that you're getting yourself into essentially an R.L. Stine book put to TV or put to film, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's super fun.
So, yeah, go check it out. Next up's gonna be Crimson Peak. Stick around. After these food messages. Okay, so we did 2 movies, double feature. This is gonna be 2 separate videos though. We don't wanna put out a 2-hour video here. So we're gonna do 2 separate videos, but we saw them both on the same day. They're both Halloween themed, sort of. And I've got opinions on both. So let's jump right into it.
Jumping in right now.
Boom. So Goosebumps, first movie. The previews, there were some good previews and there were some bad previews. Let's just start. Ratchet and Clank.
Why? But why?
I think your time is done, guys.
Like, why are they trying to revive that?
Seriously, for the love of God, let it go. I will skip this at theaters. I will probably never watch this.
I didn't even play the game.
I heard the game was okay, but regardless, this movie is like 10 years too late.
I blanked out pretty much through the entire preview. It had no interest whatsoever.
Yeah, it looks good. That's the one thing I'll give it. It's a very pretty looking, animation. But aside from that, whatever.
Nope, not seeing it.
The Good Dinosaur. Monica would like you to know that Monica don't want no feelings.
I don't want those type of feelings in my brain.
Man, that preview about made me cry.
That's why I don't want to watch
Serious.
that movie.
That preview.
I do not want to relive Lion King.
This is different than Lion King. I mean, it's still coming of age like that, and there's clearly some tragedy in this young dinosaur's life, but I really think it's gonna be good at this point. After seeing that preview, that was the first time I'd seen the preview where all the dinosaurs talked and everything. I'm really excited about it.
I don't want to.
I would see it in theaters if I were a kid. I'll probably wait for DVD though, and I don't want to cry in the movie theater and have a bunch of kids looking at me like I'm crazy. So, note to self, by the way, if you are a single white male going to Goosebumps by yourself and you're laughing at all the wrong spots, you're gonna get looks from us.
There's always one.
It's very weird today. Moving on. The Secret Life of Pets, same preview that we've seen 100 times. I've got to mention one thing that I haven't really said yet. They really nailed those like stereotypes of dogs, you know what I mean? Or not just dogs, but of just animals in general.
Right.
They're so good. Mm. It's like they just literally sat in front of YouTube just watching cat and dog videos.
That's probably what started the idea. That's probably exactly what started the idea.
I mean, aside from the fact that it looks like a cartoon, it looks very real. So, anyways, I think it's gonna be a fun one. You're still kind of like
no, I'll still watch it.
Okay. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Why are we trying to revive dead things?
Man,
didn't we learn from Frankenstein?
This is the epitome of the bastardization of children's properties for the sake of like pulling.
Nobody even likes them.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. It's
more annoying than anything. Could you imagine being the parent of the kid that actually likes that and hearing Alvin and the Chipmunks all day?
It's like they forgot what Alvin and the Chipmunks was.
Christmas song every year and that's it.
But that wasn't annoying.
That was annoying.
Their voices don't grind my nerves to no extent. Anyways, I'm skip.
Definitely skipping.
Angry Birds. I don't care what you say. I think it looks pretty good, even though it's 2 years too late.
Yeah, I'll be all right. But why so late? Why did it take so long?
Yeah.
Why did they let that ship sail?
Yeah.
All the way to the next continent and then decide, we need to remind people that this was a serious thing before Candy Crush.
Yep. All yeps. But I think the voice cast is good. I think it's going to be a pretty fun little film. I'll probably skip it at theaters.
Yeah.
The Fifth Wave. Skip.
Yeah. I forgot. I was like Red Dawn.
Yeah, Red Dawn with aliens.
We skipping.
Chloe Moretz. The voiceover grinds my fucking gears every time I hear her say, "This is our planet" or whatever. It just sounds so like, I said it in the trailer, Josh. It sounds so Animorphs. Just like
no interest whatsoever.
Yeah, we'll skip. So those are the previews. It's a pretty short lineup, actually. All things considered, I figured there'd be 9 or 10 kids movies in there. So we'll just jump right in. So the first thing I wanted to talk about personally was Jack as R.L. Stine. Now you watch that dang show, that Kelly and Michael. She watches the Kelly and Michael show. I occasionally catch little bits of it, and I just so happened to catch a bit on Kelly and Michael the other day with Jack Black, and he said that he met Jack Black. He said that he met R.L. Stine, and that he was like one of the sweetest people ever, and he had to completely accentuate like the personality traits, like to an absurd level, in order to make the character come alive on screen, because he's not like that at all. So I guess what I wanted to discuss is was he good, distracting, phenomenal, like so on and so forth. Go.
I didn't think he was distracting. I liked him. I like Jack Black in general, so I didn't feel like he was too distracting. He was the Jack Black that I like,
right?
But not too much.
He was the School of Rock Jack Black, more.
Kinda, but toned down a little bit.
Yeah, not quite as insane.
I guess that's what I like about Jack Black, is that he can do characters, but they kind of become him, and I like him. So I guess it's all right for me to watch him in different roles. Except for that one movie we just didn't watch with him in it, because God.
But
which one? The one where he goes back to like the high school, like, and he tries to like be friends with the popular dude, and then exactly. Dang, that face you're making is exactly, because they played it in the theater previews, and we were like, what?
Interesting. Okay.
But anyways, I thought he did all right. I felt like, even if I didn't know R.L. Stine, I feel like he kind of embodied what I would think that R.L. Stine would be.
Right.
With just a little bit of Jack Black hint.
For sure.
So.
The one thing that I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned it in the after segment, but I think I mentioned it too. It was because I was on the phone with Kyle. His accent, he would slip in and out of, and that's the only thing that I can say you probably could have worked on a little better.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately him. People like him.
It was like too much of him was shining through at times,
and
he couldn't do that voice, which I think in hindsight it would have been better had he just not done any sort of weird voice like that. If he had just been a tamed down version of Jack Black as R.L. Stine. But hey,
sneezing butts. Okay.
Allergic to bullshit.
Ooh, no. It's kind of dust in the house.
So yeah, anyways, I think he did an overall good job. He wasn't like some stupid caricature that I think a lot of people were kind of worried about.
Right.
You look at kind of some of the reviews and they're like, Jack Black didn't suck. I wasn't ever expecting Jack. You don't even hear anything.
Allergies.
There's nothing even.
Because I've got it toned down. Okay.
Anyways, I think you did great. Moving on, unless you have anything else to add.
No more sneezes. I think I'm good.
Moving on. So this is one for use. This is really more of your topic altogether. The kids.
Because everybody know Monica don't like kids in movies.
Because everybody know Monica don't like no kids in movies.
But I made a statement for some reason. Like School of Rock, I think is the only movie I could tolerate because the kids weren't annoying. I feel like they all had their like fun personality. And I think it kind of was the same in this one.
Right.
I guess Jack Black has a way with children. I guess. I don't know. But, I mean, ultimately, they didn't bug me too bad. They weren't too annoying. The little... What is... The boy with the teeth. That's what I'm going to call him.
I got to say, I was a little impressed with him.
Really?
Just to be honest.
I feel like he was the same character in Super 8 or whatever that dang movie
I haven't
was.
seen Super 8 in like
I just
7
know
years.
he's an annoying little bud, and
I just think that his comedy has been it's been more finely tuned, and
it
I
was
felt
definitely
it
toned
worked.
down in this, which was good, because if they would have given him any more, I would have been like,
Right. It definitely is a character that could have gone the wrong way,
Yes.
but I feel like he was offered enough.
yeah, right. He was the annoying kid, and he is the annoying kid. Hashtag typecast.
Wow. Leave that poor boy alone.
I'm sorry, boy with the teeth. I'll learn your name one day.
I think he did an overall good job.
Yeah.
The Percy Jackson lookalike.
Ooh, don't you confuse him with Logan Lerman.
Sorry.
Don't even.
I'm sorry, but every time I look at him, I'm like, that's the Percy Jackson dude, right? And it's like, no, bro, that Percy Jackson dude's like 7 years older than him. Whoops. I thought he did okay.
Yeah, he did all right.
And the girl, I don't know her name. I apologize. The Mila Kunis
reincarnation.
wannabe. Yeah. She, all in all, did a pretty good job. Like, so as kids acting, I mean, they're probably a little older than than what they were playing.
I feel like they had the same curiosity without the nuisances of a lot of kids portrayed in films today.
Yep.
So I thought they did good.
I did too. So I want to go on to one of the biggest detractors for me, which is pretty much, I'm going to say it every single time that it happens, but the CG in the film was lackluster, to say the least.
I feel like they probably didn't think it was going to be as popular as it was, but it is popular. Which is really real, so I feel like they could have had more, but maybe they thought it wasn't going to go really well, so they didn't put...
Well, what's crazy to me is you look at, like, I don't think that dummy was CG at any point, even when it was standing.
He looked really good, yeah.
So he was practical. I understand that, like, you can't do, like, the big praying mantis. You can't do practically. Though, I mean, I guess if you were to talk to Jack, he'd tell you, yeah, you could. Just do it the tokusatsu method. But, you know, like... Clearly the movie had a budget. You remember the scene with all the kids, like at the school, and like there's so many background on that.
Just pay attention to this high school scene, because you do not see that many high school.
But it looked good.
It really did. It looked natural.
It did. It
like, hey, everybody, high school, we're shooting a movie. Show up.
Yeah, I felt like that was one of the stronger points. And so my point is, I see all this awesome. Practical filmmaking going on, and then I see like the three big detractors, which were the praying mantis. I was okay, even with the gnomes. I thought the gnomes for the most part looked good. Okay.
Yeah.
But like the werewolf and the abominable snowman, both anytime they came on the screen, I was just like,
like I said, I guess they could have looked a little bit more realistic. Like I said, I liked the werewolf's face down. Like, I thought he looked really good. But then his torso, like, it doesn't...
So you meant from the head or neck up.
Yeah.
You like his
chest
head.
up, sorry. Yeah. Like, he looked good. And then, like, as you look more into it, like, his torso just didn't set right half the time. And I was just like... Maybe they're hoping that people don't pay attention to that because of how good the face looked, at least to me.
And he definitely looked fake the whole time.
But yeah, that's true. So... I wonder why they did that.
I would have much preferred. You got to get creative, but I don't know. I've seen really good practical effects with similar things, and it would have been great to see that rather than that. I mean, because sometimes it looked straight up like a cartoon of some sort. You know.
I guess ultimately, if they do a second one, which I'm guessing they probably would, based off of this one's success, then they probably will fork a little bit more over.
Maybe so.
But it was really weird that can't do Goosebumps. Goosebumps. Do you know how many people still are alive that have read that?
I mean, honestly, think about that. We're to the age we could have kids. You know what I mean? Like, we could have had kids. I mean, there are people that had kids way younger than we have.
That's
so,
true.
Theoretically, if we had just become adults and had kids, we'd have a 10-year-old right now, and they'd eat this movie up.
That's true.
And we would have, think about the nostalgia kick that we would have got. I mean, and that we did get, you know what I mean? Because you read them, I read them. And that is, one of the reasons that I stayed so intrigued with it. Like the nostalgia kick alone, I was just like, God, it's so awesome to see these characters that I've read.
I'm pretty sure this is gonna spawn, kind of bring kids back to actual reading, because this is what kind of got a lot of kids reading back then.
I mean, it's
so
half of the reason I read.
I feel like they probably might,
I mean, I always liked reading, but man, when I Ghost Beach, that was the very first Goosebumps book I ever read, and it had me hook, line, and sinker.
Go to the library and every Goosebumps book is checked out. You have
Probably.
to wait for one, and there's always one that was missing a page or.
Oh God.
The one you read before.
Luckily, my mom always bought me all that stuff. So,
I was not that.
Do you remember the side note? Do you remember the alternate ending one?
Yes, those were.
They had a few of them.
I used to love those, and I would go.
I'd be like, I don't like that ending. No, come back.
Oh my God! I remember the cemetery one where you had to like put the words together, and it was like. Wait a minute, and I would always my finger that one page so I can like go and choose and be like,
no, come back.
Okay, we're gonna go this way.
Yep. Dude, I'm right there with you. Golly.
Oh, those are the best.
They were so good.
But ultimately, I definitely would hope that when we have kids,
quiet down, intern.
Intern being serious right now. Hopefully when we have kids that we'll be able to have them read those and kind of have the fun, because that's ultimately kids are kind of lost now with books.
Yeah.
Because everything's on disc.
Yep. Everything. Everything. Moving on. So, I want to talk. I want to tell a little bit about the story, and a couple of the parts where I think there were issues. So, intern ain't gonna let it go.
She's not gonna let it go.
Lay down.
I wish we had a doggy door. You probably wouldn't fit anyway. Here, I'll rub you.
Hang on. Let me let this dog out.
Bye, girl. You better not make any noise when you're out there. Pick up some coffee while you're out.
Okay, so here's the basic setup. Here's the basic setup for the story. Kid's mom, kid and mom loses dad. You don't find this out until like 10 minutes in, but it's not like a spoiler or anything. They move to a new town. That just so happens they move next to R.L. Stine, who you don't know is R.L. Stine at the time. He has a daughter. Boy meets girl, girl likes boy, so on and so forth. Until finally he goes over to their house, opens up a book. I'm skipping a lot of, details. Opens up a book, boom, out comes the abominable snowman, and that in turn helps unleash the dummy, Slappy, who then unleashes everything. Mm-hmm. That's your basic setup. That setup to me was a little long. I was waiting. I was just like, okay, I know what's coming because I've seen the preview. We're focused way too much on stuff that's just not really all that interesting right now.
Focused on?
No, it's fine. I've got these other two cameras.
Word.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, I didn't really think about that till you just said that. But yeah, it was a long build-up, like almost for no reason.
Yeah, the first third of the film just was a little... I'm not going to say the entire thing wasn't needed. Clearly, you got to have setup in your story, but it's like they got hung up for a second. They're like, "Well, we need an hour and 45-minute movie, and right now we've got an hour and 25-minute movie.
What can we add in this?"
So that's one of the biggest things that I have now. Moving on, once the I see you
shaking that thing.
Once they move on into letting the monsters out of the book, the only real problem I had was the pacing was so quick sometimes that I'm like, okay, they're in a graveyard now, and okay, now they're gonna run into some other superfluous monster for no reason. Like there was no real reason scene to scene why the monsters were where they were. I know that Slappy just like released them all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it was just like it was all very coincidental. It was like every time that they were in a new scene, it was like, okay, motherfucker.
Why is that camera lying right now?
Every single time though, it was like, they're gonna meet a new
the
ghost
intro.
now, or a new.
I guess it's kind of what they do in a lot of movies like this, though, where it's like introductory sessions where it's just like you can't just cram them all in. You kind of gotta. Boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop.
But I don't know. It was so. I guess what I'm trying to say is it felt so formulaic that sometimes just like I mentioned the graveyard very specifically. When we got to the graveyard, I was like, okay, what are we gonna run into now? You know?
Because who built a grocery store in front of a graveyard?
So let's see. That kind of is the story. Now I want to talk about the twist that I saw coming a mile away. I wish I had said.
I didn't catch it at all. I was just like, why? Why did he lie?
Yeah, I wish I had said something when I first had the thought. But so spoiler alert.
I should have known.
God damn it.
Ooh.
So spoiler alert. The girl, I don't know. Is this a spoiler really? It happens halfway through the movie, which is part of my problem.
What made you catch it?
Well, it was just like because when they called the cop. Okay, so spoiler alert: the girl, the daughter, is actually a ghost written from R.L. Stine's memory. When the cops showed up after he called and she was nowhere to be found, I was like, maybe she's a ghost and only he and his friend are seeing her right now. And that was a really like early like.
I don't know why I did not think that at all.
And so then as it continued, I was like, man, something seems a little weird. Like R.L. Stine's like keeping her very locked away for no real reason. It just was like a weird thing. And then, sure enough, the moonshine on her, which was, I believe, a thing. Anybody can feel free to let us know. I think it was a thing from Ghost Beach, where the moon shines, and then that's what revealed them as a ghost. So I think my problem with that twist though isn't the twist. Like I really enjoyed that as a plot device, but it happened so early.
For me, I didn't even hear a lot. So for me, I was way
perfect?
late. I feel like it felt.
I thought that it should have happened. We should have known about it later in the film. We found out about halfway through the movie, and then that became a conflict, for the latter half of the film. And I don't know, it just seemed like they really wasted a really good moment on it ended up being more of like a throwaway than a good plot device. You know what I mean? It's just what it's just my
there wasn't
thoughts
enough
on it
leading up to it, but I feel like what they did do was pretty cool.
Okay, so this will kind of round it out with the message, which is it's kind of all the same. Stevie? So the message. Now, you can feel free to combat this, but I feel like the message is you gotta let go of your grief.
Ultimately, yeah. I can agree with that.
So if the message is you gotta let go of your grief, and they've set this up, and it was a good setup. I gotta give them some mad credit for it because it makes you think a little deeper. For it being a children's film, it makes you go just a little bit more.
Was I doing something weird?
Oh, I saw that muscle flex. She's trying to yawn.
Was it?
Oh yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
I was sneezing.
So they've set it up in a manner where Jack Black needs to let go of his daughter, which is not his daughter. It's a figment of his imagination. But he was always picked on, and he wrote these characters out of that and he's been holding on to these manuscripts. Like, they've set that up. Mm-hmm. He's been holding on to these things. He could have destroyed them all, but he's been holding on to them because he's been holding on to the past. Same thing for the kid, the Percy Jackson kid. He's been holding on to the fact that his dad died, which I think they could have set up a little better, to be honest with you. But
I found it.
This is really getting annoying.
I found it quite interesting that they didn't go into it any further, like a lot of other movies did.
Yeah,
it was just like, oh, your dad's dead.
That's it. And they just kind of like left it at that. So I think they could have set that up a little better. But he's clearly been holding on to that angst, that's the motivation at the very beginning of the movie is you know, like they show him, you know, watching the home videos and all that stuff. So the message is let it all go. Now they've set it up perfectly for them to let her go. They've you know, at the end of the movie they're writing this story for all the monsters to be sucked back into the book. They've set it up so that both Jack Black, R.L. Stine, and Percy Jackson, not Percy Jackson, have to let go of that, and they, you know, like that, and it's perfect because it's an imaginary character. She doesn't fucking exist. Okay, it literally is R.L. Stine's mind, and Percy Jackson's in love with her. So what does that say for him? Anyways, that's beside the point. So there is a point to this tangent, I promise you. So then they let her go. There's this nice moment. Boom. Now, just like an R.L. Stine book, we round. There's got to be an ending, right? We've got to the climax. Climax is done. Now we've got to just have that like superfluous, like, here's the bow. You know, look at how he's grown. The movie even calls that out, right? You remember when he's talking about, right. You know, what the formula the books go. There's a little character development, right? Him and Jack Black meet in the hallway. Jack Black is now a teacher, right, at the school, and they have a nice little conversation, and Jack Black has written her back into existence. So now nobody had to let anything go, nobody had to move on, and they're just going to live happily ever after. And he burns the book, and so she gets to stay forever, I guess. And then forever, I guess, like, his imagination gets to live on for eternity, watching everything that she loves die. Okay.
That's always the problem with immortality. You can't love.
So that's the message, okay? Now, kind of like Hotel Transylvania 2, and I'm sorry that you're not talking on this, because I'm kind of, like, shoehorning it.
It's fine. I said what I needed to say.
But I feel like in giving him back, we're just gonna call it what it is, his toy, because he doesn't love her. He can't. He's too, like, you and I can both agree.
We hadn't even made it fully through high school yet.
Right? It's not possible. Like, he might have, you know, he lusts her. Okay. He'll go home and think about her in inappropriate ways, but he doesn't love her. He's not capable of such a feeling, okay? So, God damn it.
Stay with
breaking my concentration. So in my point is, there wasn't any character growth. The whole thing was about, like, this message and how the characters should grow, and then whoever wrote the script, which I'm assuming is not R.L. Stine, whoever wrote it really just kind of crapped on its own message, just like Hotel Transylvania 2 did. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Do you think I'm crazy? Am I looking way too deep into it?
I feel like it was kind of inevitable. I mean, how could they let this love just not flourish?
Well, I feel like R.L. Stine would not have written it that way. I feel like R.L. Stine's books, they really do. This is so frustrating, guys. They really do allow the characters to grow without just like without. I mean, there's no better way to put it. Without having your cake and eating it too. Right?
Right.
So. I mean, I remember that at least, you know, like, I'm not saying that he did it 100% of the time, but he seemed to do it most of the time with his books, and I just wish that this movie had done that as well. What?
I can see that.
Anyways.
But it didn't bother me so much, so.
I'm over analytical. I'm over analytical.
Girl, you are.
The movie was all around good. I thought they did a great job with it.
Cute.
You know, if
kept you entertained throughout for the most part.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Totally kept me entertained. I'm going to cut all this in, by the way. It's really frustrating. This camera keeps unrecording. It's so frustrating.
What are you doing?
All in all, I think they did a great job. If I were into superfluous things like giving it a rating, I'd give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Something like that. I could totally see buying this and watching it again.
Yeah.
It was fun enough that I'll be like, oh yeah, let's watch that. So was it worth the movie watch? Again, especially if you've read these books, I think you're going to really dig it. If you have kids, they're going to really dig it. So I think it's a win-win. If you've read it and you have a book and you have kids, you should definitely go watch this movie.
Definitely.
Sorry, I kind of just
took that into a whole nother.
Stole any of Monica's thunder there. My apologies, babe.
I don't have thunder. I have
lightning. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, we'll put a bow on this. Nobody's gonna come back to life though. What'd you guys think? Have you seen this movie? Did you like it? If you haven't seen it, what'd you think of our review? Are you gonna go see it because of our review? Make sure to let us know in the comment section below. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud, movieholics.net, and all that good stuff. Q&A stuff. I want to do another Q&A. So I'm not going to cipher through comments this time. So if you want to participate in our Q&A, go to movieholics.net, go to the Ask Us Questions part, and then leave your question there, and we'll compile a bunch of them, and we'll answer them all once we have enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else? Today. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. High five it out.
Let it go. Let it go.
Okay. I gotta figure out if it's a memory card or what. This is really frustrating me though.